Friends, Pastor Ted Wilson responds to USAID funding pause and appeals to all SDAs to support Adra financially. Let's listen to this.
For over 40 years, the Adventist Development and Relief Agency, known as Adra, has been a beacon of hope to vulnerable populations around the world. It was established by the Seventh-day Adventist Church as its humanitarian arm. Adra's mission has always been clear: to serve humanity so all may live as God intended. Throughout these decades, Adra has reached millions of people, providing critical aid in the face of hunger, poverty, disasters, and conflict. Adra's commitment to life-saving interventions has never wavered, driven by the biblical values of justice, compassion, and love, and the desire to serve all people with dignity. My dear father, Neil C. Wilson, was part of the church leadership that helped establish Adra the way it is today. Its mission grew out of the willingness to seek and be a partnership with other denominations, philanthropic organizations, development banks, and government agencies that share our concerns with whom we may cooperate in meeting human need, as is stated in the Adra bylaws and voted by the Executive Committee of the Seventh-day Adventist Church at its 1983 Annual Council. At this time, as we continue to face unprecedented challenges around the globe, Adra finds itself confronting an urgent financial situation. The temporary freeze in the United States government funding, particularly from the organization called USAID, has created a gap that impacts its ability, Adra's ability, to sustain critical programs. This challenge has forced Adra to reassess the immediate and long-term impact on its current operations. But even in the face of such challenges, Adra remains resolute. We, and I am a part of the Adra board, so I say we, are committed to ensuring that aid reaches those who need it most, no matter the obstacle. In this time of difficulty, we turn to you, our beloved church members, donors, and communities for support. We are asking for your continued partnership and generosity to help Adra overcome this funding gap. The needs of the vulnerable and displaced populations have never been more urgent, and without the faithful support of those like you who believe in the mission of Adra, our ability to serve will be significantly hindered. My dear brothers and sisters, as followers of Christ, we are called to extend the love of God to all people, particularly those who are suffering and in need. Adra's mission has always been about more than just providing aid. It is about helping to restore dignity, to give people the resources they need to thrive, and to show compassion and care as Jesus did in his ministry, which will then point people to Christ and his soon coming. You see, Adra's work continues in countries where hunger, poverty, conflict, and displacement are realities, and we need you to stand with us in support. We are appealing to you personally. In recent days, some have suggested that Adra has somehow engaged in illegal activities, but this assertion is completely incorrect. Adra operates with the highest ethical and legal standards in harmony with the principles of our faith. While Adra compassionately serves refugees, displaced families, and those fleeing violence or natural disasters, it does so in full compliance with the law and in accordance with God's call to care for the stranger as indicated in Matthew 25, verse 35. You see, Adra works in countries that host displaced populations, providing life-saving services like healthcare, food, water, shelter, and education. Adra is driven by the belief that all people, regardless of their legal status, deserve compassion, dignity, and the chance to rebuild their lives. You see, Adra is committed to working with local communities to ensure that those who flee do so in search of safety, not in pursuit of peril. Now, more than ever, we ask for your help. With your support, Adra will continue to live out the mission that God has called us to accomplish, helping people to live healthier and happier lives. As we read in Proverbs 14, verse 31, whoever is kind to the needy honors God. So let's honor God together by stepping forward in this moment of need so that Adra can continue to be a beacon of hope and restoration in the lives of those suffering around the world. I want to tell you that my precious wife, Nancy, and I are donors to Adra. We support Adra with prayers and finances, and I am appealing to you to do the same. We thank you for your unwavering support and ask you to continue praying, giving, and serving alongside all of us who help Adra follow in the footsteps of Jesus' ministry. You see, my dear brothers and sisters, together we can ensure that our mission remains strong, our work continues, and our commitment to serving the vulnerable remains unshaken, all to God's glory. We are living in the last days of Earth's history. Jesus is soon to come. I invite you to participate in this precious ministry that follows in the footsteps of Jesus, helping people physically, mentally, socially, and spiritually. And I thank you for your support. God bless each one of you. Maranatha.
Some SDAs have responded to Pastor Ted Wilson in a comment, and I want to read a few of them. They are very interesting. These comments are interesting. As long as Adra is an NGO, they cannot share Jesus with others. We need to depend on God, not government agencies. Another person also says, I'm concerned that Adra relies on the government rather than on God, like George Muller. Religious liberty is separation of church and state. Get your mission straight. Another person also says, Jesus said to give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Yet Seventh-day Adventist Church is playing Gehazi, running after Naaman to take from his hand. For those who may not have any idea about the situation of Adra, here is a summary for you. Adra was one of the many NGOs that received funds from the US government through USAID for its operations. Donald Trump returned to power and decided to pause all funding through USAID because he believed there was corruption and misuse of money. This move by Donald Trump and his administration impacted all NGOs in the US that heavily rely on funding from USAID, and that includes Adra. Adra is badly affected by the USAID funding pause because it is believed that a large portion of Adra's funds is from USAID. That is the reason why Pastor Ted Wilson is appealing for funds, is appealing for support for the operation of Adra. Are you willing to support Adra, friends? Now, I think there is a lesson we can learn from the situation of Adra. And the lesson is simple. We cannot or should not rely on government funding as a church or church organization. Very simple. That is what I believe. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Happy Sabbath.